everyone. I'm Dr. Ranjita, a conservative dentist and endodontist. Today I'll be talking about biomechanical preparation. The definition of biomechanical preparation states that it's a controlled removal of root canal content and the dentine by careful manipulation of the root canal instruments and materials. Basically, it's a controlled removal of both the root canal contents and the dentine by carefully manipulating the root canal instruments and dental materials. See, the word cleaning means basically removing the contents of root canal system before and during shaping. But shaping means that it's the development of a logical cavity preparation that is specific for the anatomy of each root. You'll shape the root canal so that the specific root canal filling instrument can fit into the shaped canal. Coming to the biological objectives of the root canal preparations, uh, removal of all tissue from the root canal space. You should confine the instruments to the root canal roots themselves. That means the instrument should not go beyond the roots, and you should not force the necrotic debris beyond the foramens. And there should be a sufficient space for the placement of intracanal medicaments also. See, always the gutta percha should be coated with the sealer also, and sometimes when during the presence of an abscess or lesion we'll be placing intracanal medicaments for a specific period of time. So there should be sufficient amount of space to place these medicaments also. Coming to the mechanical objectives, there should be continuous tapering funnel shape from the apex to the access cavity. Basically, there should be a continuous taper from the orifice till the apex, and the cross sectional diameter should be narrower at every point apically. If you see this picture, then cross sectional diameter is decreasing as it progresses from the coronal to the apical third. The root canal preparation should flow with the shape of the original canal. Basically, you should maintain the shape of the original canal. You should not ledge or divert the path of the original root canal anatomy. The apical foramina should be in its original position. Sometimes, as I told in my previous access cavity PPT, I mentioned that sometimes the apical foramen can be present laterally. It might not be always in the center. So, you should never force your file to reach till the apex. What happens is when you do that, there might be an apical foramina that you will be creating. And the apical opening should be kept as small as practical. It should not be over enlarged. See, these are the Schilder's mechanical objectives from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Coming to the motions of instrumentations, there are various motions that can be used during shaping and cleaning the root canal system. First one is filing or rasping. This term refers to the push and pull motion. It is basically a push and pull motion of the file. Reaming indicates clockwise rotation of the file, where you will be rotating and pushing, but your rotation will be limited only to 1/4 to 1/2 of the turn. You are not doing a complete 360-degree rotation. Your rotation is limited only to 1/4 to 1/2. Turn and pull rotation. Here the file is inserted up to 1/4 with a clockwise rotation and inwardly directed pressure followed by subsequent withdrawal. You are basically placing the file inside with a 1/4 rotation, then you are pulling the file back. Watch winding. It is a back and forth oscillation of the file, basically 30 to 60 degree to right and left. Watch wind, basically how you rotate your watch winding instrument, and as when you're rotating, you will be pushing the instrument also forward in the canal. Next is the watch winding and pull motion. Here basically H file is inserted with right and left back and forth motion until there is a resistance. So once the resistance is obtained, what you do, you with a pull stroke you take out the file out of the canal. But you should be very careful because H files are very commonly susceptible to breakage if you use it in a wrong manner. Next one is the circumferential filing. This is most commonly used during biomechanical preparation. Here the instrument is first moved toward the buccal side of the canal, then reinserted and moved mesially. Basically what circumferential filing means is you will be uh, doing the filing on all the surfaces of the canal. You place it, you move it through mesially, then you again place it, then again move it through lingually. So basically all the four walls of the canal will be instrumented. Basically you're removing your file by touching through the one of the wall. What do you mean by recapitulation? Recapitulation is it is returning to a smaller instrument from time to time before advancing to a larger size. What it means is, imagine you inserted a 15 size K file up to your working length, then took it out. Then again you will take a 20 size K file, take it up to working length, then you remove it. Before proceeding to number 25, you should always go back to number 15, place it up to working length and then remove it. So basically you should always go back to a smaller size instrument before proceeding to a very larger size instrument. The other important term that you all should know will be anti-curvature filing. What do you mean by anti-curvature filing? This is a filing which is preferentially done away from the inner curve or the focal aspect. Especially in case of your mandibular molars, in case of your mesial root, what happens? The dentine that is present towards the focal area will be very less compared to the dentine present on the outer surface area. So basically whenever you are doing the biomechanical preparation, see this is the curvature. You should always do the PMP on the outer surface, anti-curvature. So you will be doing your biomechanical preparation basically on this wall and it will be enlarging the canal. You should always avoid doing the biomechanical preparation towards the focal area because you might tend for perforating the canal. Then what are all the common rules that you should follow during a biomechanical preparation? First most common thing is isolation plays a very important role during your root canal preparation. So the tooth should be isolated using a rubber dam, and if you're making a traditional access cavity, definitely there should be a straight line access up to your apical foramen, and your working length should always be correct. Make sure your working length is correct so that you avoid any iatrogenic errors in it, and you should always use sterile instruments so that you don't infect the canal, and you should always use your files in a sequential manner with periodic recapitulation. That means you should not jump from 15 to 25. You should always go in a sequential order like 15, 20, 25, and in between you should do a recapitulation. And one of the important thing is you should never place your file in the canal when the canal is dry. The canal should be always wet when you're doing the biomechanical preparation. This will avoid the stresses that will be generated on the files. An instrument should be always used with 1/4 to 1/2 the turn withdrawn with pull stroke. And bar broacher should almost be avoided, and if it should be used only if the canal is sufficiently enlarged. And for a minimum of up to 3 file sizes, imagine your initial file size is number 15. Then up to at least 3 minimum size larger than 15 should be enlarged if the canal is very narrow or something. But depending on the canal width, you can even enlarge the canal to a greater file size. And you should never force the file when you're doing the biomechanical preparation, and you should always keep an eye on the instruments that you're being used. If there is any straightening of your file, then you should definitely discard and then use a new file. And as I told earlier, if your working length is fine, then your instrumentation will be limited to the root canal. But if your working length is wrong, then you might tend going beyond the root canal. Coming to the phases in shaping the root canal, there are basically 5 phases. Phase 1 is negotiating the canal, that is patency filing. Patency filing is nothing but first you place an initial smaller file size, number 10, place it up to working length, go little beyond 0.5 to 1 mm, and so that there is patency of the canal. Then phase 2 is where you do your coronal pre-enlargement. Phase 3 is you measure the working length. Phase 4 is where you do your root canal shaping techniques. and phase 5 is where you complete your PMP and increase the width of your canal. Coming to the techniques that is being commonly used for preparing the root canal, there are two basic commonly used techniques. One is step back technique, the other one is crown down technique, and the third one is hybrid technique. Step back is basically what you do is you start preparing from your apical third, then middle third, then coronal third. So basically your apical third will be prepared first, then middle third, then your coronal third. In case of step down, you go from top to down. So basically you will enlarge your coronal third first, then the middle third, then your apical third. Your hybrid technique is a combination of both your step back and step down technique. What you do here will be, you will first prepare your coronal third, then you will prepare your apical third, then the middle third will be prepared. In case of hybrid technique, both rotary and hand files are used for biomechanical preparation.